Good morning. Welcome to Crawford County Commissioners Work Session for November 7th, 2024. Before we get started, I do have a need for the board to add an item to the agenda. 8F would be to add a burning ban that Greg would bring with it. We'll just add it to his agenda when he gets to that. So if you could get a motion for that.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed. Motion carried. So we'll handle that at the end of yours, Greg.
Right, thanks,
We'll
Greg.
start with the Hospital Authority.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Good morning.
Hi, John.
Here on behalf of the Crawford County Hospital Authority, looking to reappoint one of our members, Steve Carr. His term expires at the end of the year. We have 5 members on the board: Steve Keitler, Dean Fair, Clark Hoffman, Joe Roddy, and Steve Carr. Joe and Steve, the last two, are from the Titusville area. Joe is completing his first term and has agreed to serve a second term, which would commence in January.
In the spirit of Commissioner Soff, did you advertise for those positions?
We did not advertise for
Okay.
this one. We'd be happy to do that if you'd like us to.
I'll just bring a question up. That's
I
fine.
know. And you're right. In his honor, he would have hit me with that. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thanks, guys.
The Opioid Settlement Committee and Mr. Glatch. And if you want to speak on B, C, and D, I'll speak on A and E. It's fine. So.
Okay, Crawford County Drug and Alcohol is requesting funding from the opioid settlement money to assist with paying for the cost for 5 programs and positions. In front of you, I gave you packets, so I didn't have to go through all this, and that you had that information. The first is the living room, a project that opens it up to not just people with opioid issues, but also all substance use issues. The second is half salaries for 2 employees that are hired by us but work at Crawford County Correctional Facility, a case manager and a counselor. The third is a new position for a case manager for Center of Excellence. This is operates as a COE providing specific care for individuals with opioid use disorder. Becoming a COE was a part of our agency's efforts to combat opioid crisis. Hiring a full-time manager can provide a focused effort with an individual on OUD. Part of the thing this person does is outreach. We're going after longtime users. Up to this point, it's been shuffled amongst all our case managers, and so there's a lot being left on the table. This also is a program that over the course of time can provide money because there's a monthly fee that we will get in return. Certified registered nurse practitioner, the salary of that person was hired prior to me arriving based on the thought that we would have a grant for that. Her sole purpose is to work with our MAT program, and so this is the clientele that she is seeing all the time. And then finally, some funding from the settlement fund to assist in payment of medical costs for uninsured and underinsured clients with OUD that see our nurse practitioner. The total fund request is $228,143. Under C and D, we've already discussed that, and Eric, I'm gonna let you have the other 3.
Yeah. So next Wednesday is the regular meeting, Jim. If you would just come back for that, it's at 9:30. We'll present you in the same order.
Okay?
Any questions for Jim at all?
Not right now.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Under 2A, a Narcan Leave Behind program is a program that Jim doesn't know this yet, but he might manage. Is going to provide a financial stipend to licensed nonprofit and volunteer or municipal EMS agencies who leave Narcan behind with families who have suffered overdose responses by those services. The requirement would be that the ambulance services or fire departments, licensed QRSs, would provide them a card with your information on it, including additional information that we talked about housing, homeless, but the driving force would be the CCDAC number for a reference into your system. We would provide that money to you guys to reimburse to the EMS providers. Good thing your CFO has nothing else to do. He can do a little bit more. But basically, and I'll give you the rough draft of it, but the invoice would be, you would get a CAD sheet, which is a computer-aided dispatch sheet, which shows the 911 call that Greg's crew had sent them on. You would get the service name provider, the person, individual, and then you would have that contact information that your folks could reach out, knowing that their family had received Narcan left with the family from that call. So we have that funded at $50,000, which we estimate would be about 3 or 4 years of doing that. So it would kind of get you guys some more resources and make us consider your $200,000 offer a little bit better too inside there. And then 2E is something called Deterra, which is,
Yeah, we should have brought a sample.
we should have brought one down. If we have one in our office, you can see, you're familiar with Deterra, I'm sure. But Deterra is a small packet that you can take home. Any medication, any kind of medication, but opioids is what our priority is, especially for child and young adult overdoses, accidental overdoses. You actually open the packet up, you can put your no longer needed medication, prescribed medication or opioids in the packet. You seal it, you shake it up, it hardens. It actually is not harmful to the environment at all. You actually just throw it into the garbage. We actually opted out of, most counties using their opiate money for Deterra was sending it by the household. Commissioner Shell had a good point that most people would just throw them away, so we thought we'd be better to buy displays, to put them in prominent areas, friendly businesses, neighbors, and also libraries or other of the social service agencies. We would just restock those as needed, but the idea is to allow people to have that ability to get rid of those medications, so we actually avoid the accidental overdoses from kids and adults and houses that no longer need those opioids. So that is another program that we're working. We won't make you do that part. We'll handle that part. So, yeah.
You'll do that. Yeah.
All right. Any other question? Thank you, guys. All right. Conservation District.
Hi,
Thanks for
Tracy.
your time.
Good morning.
Two items, both reappointments today. The first for the Ag Land Preservation Board, which would be us requesting the reappointment of Richard Dice. He is a municipal board member to that board, and it would be for a 3-year term beginning January 1st and continuing through December 31st of 2027.
Okay.
And then the second item would be to request the reappointment of Scott Preston and Richard Muir as farm directors on the Crawford County Conservation District Board. And this appointment is a 4-year term beginning in January and continuing through December 31st of 2028.
Did you advertise for those positions?
We do through, actually, the chief clerk sends
Good.
letters
Thank you.
out.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's like direct solicitations to different agencies and that sort of
Yes,
thing.
Thank
yeah,
you.
there's specific groups that are allowed to do that for us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. See you, Tracy. Thanks.
The district attorney. Go ahead, Chris. if you want.
Oh, okay. So, for the district attorney, we have a midwinter conference is required continuing legal ed training and budgeted for the 2025 year for Craig Howe and Paula DiGiacomo, totaling $3,026.88. A second request for approval of payment of $6,210 to Corrections Development Incorporated for the district attorney's prosecutors management program and updates for 2025. This is a budgeted item for 2025.
I don't have a lot of information on either of those, so I guess I'll
I would not be prepared to take
Yes.
questions at this time,
It's
but
not officially budgeted yet, and that's why they're at meeting. So
I see,
because
okay.
we haven't passed the 2025 budget. so
Okay.
that's why they're
Okay.
having
Okay,
this
thank you.
meeting.
I see.
All right, correctional facility.
But this would be for next year.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning, Jack.
Morning.
Hi,
I
Jack.
have 2 items for approval. Item A is approve the purchase of a indoor-outdoor dual lens PTZ camera. Total cost including program license transfer and the camera is $2,420. Cameras to be purchased through Canadota Security. The camera is needed for the jail's outside security, and this is not a budgeted item.
I assume the camera must have a case, and that's why it's extra. It's usually that's the price goes up. when you
It has a
have to
case and it's PTZ. It moves around.
Move
It's-
around.
Right.
Hands and okay, that's why it's
And that's the camera out the front of the building, right?
It's on the,
pothole side.
yeah, it's on the
It's on
bottom
the
side.
It's out by
Pothole
Lake
side.
Greenfield,
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Second item is approve the purchase of amplifier intercom replacement for female housing unit. Current intercom is not working. The system's needed for communications during lockdown. The purchase would be from Global Correction System at $882, and this is not a budgeted item.
How long has it not been working?
Maybe a week.
Okay. Do you need it ratified?
Hmm?
You need it ratified?
No, they can wait.
Okay.
They can walk down in there and, you know,
Yeah, I'll roll out.
Thank you.
right, exactly.
Thanks, Jack.
Thanks.
IT, Chris is going to handle that.
Okay, yep, Tim is a little late up this morning, so we wish him well. One request to purchase DSSC Solutions Services for upgrading the dictation server to Windows 11 for $4,585. This is not a budgeted item.
Okay.
Okay.
The courts.
Morning.
Hi, Heidi.
We're seeking approval to purchase 1-year Aristocat stenographic software and support from Aristocat Development Corp. for $600. It's a budgeted item.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Public safety.
Good morning, Greg.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hi, Greg.
Today we're asking for a few things. One is to renew our annual subscription to PACE for our digital scheduling at a cost of $22.40. It's a budgeted expense.
Okay,
Also looking for a $1,500 payment to MCM for work on the hazard mitigation plan. Again, that's reimbursed by FEMA.
What's the anticipated completion of that?
I think it has to be done by the end of the year, so I should only be here a
yeah.
couple more
It should be
times,
coming up
hopefully.
pretty quick, anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, thanks.
I dislike it as much as you probably at this point. So. Approve the purchase of a replacement wireless headset adapter for the 911 center from TapeTel at a cost of $527.92. That's not budgeted. And we're looking at installing permanent ductless air conditioning at the backup site through Boat Heating and Cooling at a cost of $9,915.
Will that cover the whole building up there, or just your room up there?
The whole building.
Oh, okay.
you're gonna use wireless funds for that, or, is it- okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Approval from Mobilecom for their proposal of construction of 3 concrete pads at the Greaser Road Tower site at a cost of $10,140. That would put pads underneath the generator, the tower shelter, and the fuel pod for the generator.
Okay,
That's lower than what I thought it would be.
They've been pretty good stewards of our project so far, so certainly we're trying to keep them honest. And lastly, we ask you to ratify the burn ban resolution that was requested by the State Forest Fire Bureau that would end into effect on November 5th.
okay. Any questions?
And that's a 30-day?
It can go up to 30 days.
30 days or early terminate.
or
Okay.
early termination.
If it
You
snows,
have
we can
any
turn-
idea what your number is of brush fires this season?
When we first started talking about this on Election Day, up till the morning of Election Day, there had been 21 fires since November 1st, so in a 4-day span, we had 21 brush fires. That day added at least 9 more, so we're 30-plus fires in 7 days. It's just
November.
Wow.
in November.
In November.
That's just- it's,
Yeah.
unheard of.
All right, thank you, Greg.
Thank you very much.
County maintenance?
First off, congratulations on a successful bridge reopening.
Good morning, thank you, I drove over it this morning, it was great.
You drove over it? We're
Oh,
good?
you cut the ribbon, did you?
Yeah.
Huh?
All right, thanks, Jim.
This morning, I'd like to ratify approval to pay the Eats Group for engineering services on the parking deck rehab, and the total is $9,665.60.
Okay,
Approval to pay the Eats Group for engineering services on the rehab of Mercer Street Bridge for $17,213.21, and this will be paid by Lakewood Fields monies.
okay.
Next, approval to pay Micus Construction Corporation, and this is for work done on the rehab of the bridge, Mercer Street, for $359,399.54, and this will also be paid by Liquid Fuels monies.
Okay,
Next, approval to pay Brian J. Noah, Project Manager, for professional services from 10/1 to 10/31 for $790.20.
okay.
The next thing is approval to pay Strongland Roofing Systems for pay application number 6 of the jail roof project for $46,310.49.
Okay,
And last, approval to pay Strongland Roofing Systems, and this is for roofing repairs above the kitchen wall at the jail for $6,082.
okay. Any question for Jen? She hopes not.
I hope not.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can you tell us about the materials they're using?
Planning.
Morning, Commissioner.
Good
Morning.
morning, Zach.
Hi, Zach.
Goodness gracious.
Try
Yeah, I
to,
know.
try to get through this as easily as possible. The first item this morning, requesting a reimbursement for Ari Johnson regarding the training wages that they have for their students. Total amount $7,681.50, paid for out of whole home. The next is for Vogue Heating and Cooling for the same purpose. Their total is $1,272, paid from the same pot. And then the third item is for Ferguson Construction Company, same purpose, total of $640, paid for out of, again, a whole home. The fourth item this morning is a approval to pay an invoice for LSSE in the amount of $3,300 for their Conneautville Stormwater Management Project. This is paid for out of our 2020 CDBG program, and that project's actually under construction, should be finishing up here within the next few weeks. That has to be done before the end of the year. We're also asking for approval for a pay application for Ken Leach Construction in the amount of $39,000 for work done for North Brown, North Kerr, and North Main Street sidewalk projects. These are associated with the City of Titusville CDBG program, and they are paid out of three different funds, the 2023, 2022, two funds, 2023, 2022 programs. We also are asking for approval of paying an invoice from the City of Titusville to reimburse them $9,842.29 for code enforcement wages. This is paid for out of the City of Titusville CDBG program. We're also seeking approval for a reimbursement request to the French Creek Recreation Trails, Inc. In the amount of $73,400. This is part of the funds used to pave the Ernst Trail in Kerrtown. They received state funding and used our money as the local match to do that. This is paid for out of the Act 13 Environmental Initiatives Fund and was a grant awarded to them a number of years ago. We're also requesting approval for a payment to fine print, commercial printing in the amount of $2,925 to print the final versions of the comprehensive plan. It is going to be paid for out of the grant program that paid for the comp plan.
How many hard copies? Presumably there's a hard copy.
300 hard copies
Okay.
over the next 10 years.
Okay.
Since we have the money with the comp plan, I've got to burn through some of it, and that was the intention.
And
We can
those are
shrink the amount.
distributed, or
We
what's the-
plan to distribute those to the local municipalities, to
Okay.
partner organizations, publicly, through meetings and trainings, workshops, those sorts of activities.
Right.
Next item, we're asking to reimburse mileage for Deb Frawley for traveling to the APA conference in the amount of $112.02. This would be paid out of the general fund and was a budgeted expense.
a long drive?
We're also asking to approve the pay invoice number 12 to Michael Baker International in the amount of $10,591.04. This is for the comprehensive plan project and is paid for out of the state facilities grant that we paid for the rest of the project. The next three items, there is 2 terms expiring on the Planning Commission and 1 vacancy on the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission advertised for those vacancies and terms and are recommending, or at least at their last meeting voted to recommend these 3 appointments. So they're asking you to approve through a resolution Sally J. Guzik-Jones from the City of Meadville to fill the vacancy that expires in December of 2026, to approve appointing Jane Martin of the City of Meadville for a 4-year term starting in January of 2025 and continuing through December of 2028. And the same with Michael Klink of North Shenango to serve on the commission from 2025 through 2028.
As a matter of protocol, can we capture those all in one resolution? Or maybe even 2? Well, 2 are for full terms, 1 is a partial term, so maybe 2. Could we do Ms. Martin and Mr. Klink on 1 and then a partial?
As long as,
We can do that.
as long as there's consensus between the 3, because you'd hate to.
That's right, if there's not, then we
Yeah.
do it separately.
Okay, fair enough.
We'll just double check with each other.
Yeah, we'll wrestle it out.
Okay. I can go back and make revisions, whatever
That's
you
fine.
need.
Yeah. Minor detail.
The Planning Commission also at their last meeting made a recommendation to forward the following 7 projects to you for funding through the Crawford Inspired Mini Grant Program. So you've got a resolution awarding projects to Westmead 2 Volunteer Fire Department for our countywide rope rescue response equipment initiative in the amount of $11,438.16. The Sagertown Heritage Society for new historical museum electrical upgrades for $4,950. Cockerton Borough's Cockerton Lions Community Park Children's ADA Picnic Tables Initiative for the amount of $2,960. The Crawford County Fairground Building Association for upgrading their rabbit cages initiative in the amount of $11,890.54. The Titusville Area School District for Cultivating Future CNC Operators Initiative, which is a partnership with Pitt Titusville, in the amount of $8,274. Conneaut Lake Volunteer Fire Department's Outfit Engine 701 with a Hose Initiative for $5,487.30. And then Takata for their Cambridge Springs Micro Transit Service Initiative, a total of $15,000. Each of those comes with a 10% match that all of the applicants submitted.
I suppose I'd pose the same question. So long as there's consensus, can that appropriation be made with one?
Do
Okay.
you have these scanned in?
So we do have these all scanned in. We can share them with
Can
you.
you send,
Yep.
did you send them to us?
No.
I just want you to look
No,
at a couple of the
we
files.
can send them to you.
All right, thank you. And the other question I have is, under the CATA, we were talking to them about, and I saw in the paper, I thought, but I'm gonna ask you, was there a municipal assistance given to them or
There
no?
was not municipal assistance given, the last I had checked. However, as I understood, the municipality misunderstood, thinking they had to give $50,000.
Oh, so
I
there
think
may
that
be,
they are going back to say,
Maybe they'll
you
provide
can
the
give a
match?
little, you can give $5,000
Oh,
or something, you
okay.
know, something nominal.
Did your wife know?
So that's what we think of CAT.
yeah, so that would be good if you could. Could you handle P first and then back to O, please?
Yep.
Thanks.
So we're requesting approval of contract between Crawford County, QRS Construction, and homeowner number 10 for housing, home repairs for the whole home repair program. This will be the fourth or fifth, I think it's fifth, whole home repair contract that we have with contractors out in homes.
Okay, and then
They are
O?
looking to start on the 19th of this month.
Okay, and then O?
So, and letter O, we are requesting authorization of a resolution creating a blight demolition fund, which authorizes the recorder of deeds to collect additional recording fees for the purpose of addressing blighted properties within Crawford County. This was something that arose through the county's comprehensive plan project. Our 14 boroughs indicated that it was the top priority. Blight is the top priority in those communities. They don't have financial resources to tackle it. They also have a capacity challenge to deal with blighted properties. We've been using other funds as available. Recently, the board gave funds for a pilot program, which we've been handing out and using to do demolition. But if we are going to take on the Cambridge Springs project, currently the way that things are shaking out, we may need additional funds for that, and the long-term impact of taking out blighted properties in Crawford County, we will need a strategy.
And the price can be variable.
The price can be varied between $5 and $15.
Okay. And so I want to ask Beth to come up and speak for a second. Beth had sent us an email, and I wanted to make sure that she could weigh in on it. So Beth is a registered recorder and had some concerns about this. So Beth, if you would.
I just wanted to voice my opposition to the blight demolition fund in the amount of $15 to be collected by the Recorder of Deeds office. We already have existing additional fees that add up. For example, the affordable housing fee is $11.50. That's on all deeds and mortgages. County Records Improvement Fund is $2. That's on numerous different types of documents. We have the UPI fee, which is $20 per parcel. That's on 9 different types of documents. We also collect fees for the state, which we have the JCS fee, which is the Judicial Computer System fee of $40.25, and the state writ tax is 50 cents. The base fee for a deed and a mortgage is $15. That's for a 4-page document. So you can see how all these fees add up. We're up to, with one parcel, $90.25 for a 4-page deed. So if you add, say, another $15, that takes it over $100. Now, if they have numerous parcels, that's really gonna add up. And my concern is just that people are struggling right now, especially with housing and even putting food on their table. So that's just my opinion.
Sure.
Okay?
No, and we appreciate. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Zach.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Human Services.
Morning.
Hi,
Morning,
Sue.
Sue.
I'm requesting approval of the facilities agreement with Allegheny College to use space for the next round of crisis intervention team training. The training will take place on January 6th through January 10th of 2025. Cost of the use of the facility is $500. There's no county match, all paid for through the crisis grant.
Okay.
Requesting approval of the early intervention income and expense report for fiscal year 22-23. The report was submitted on October 25th, 2024. The significant delay in submitting the report was due to the 4 re-budget allocations that Octel completed. The total expense for the year was $772,561.08. The cost of the county was $43,168.88. Requesting approval of the MOU and transportation plan between Hermitage School District and CYS. These transportation procedure agreements ensure that Hermitage School District and CYS work together to design a local transportation plan for foster care children enrolled in the school district. And I have 5 reappointments to the Crawford County Human Services Advisory Board. They're all serving a 3-year term, which would be from January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2027. And that would be for Dr. Umberto Dorda, Gary DeSantis, Julie Willie, Kim Schell, and Steve Bridger.
Okay.
Requesting approval of the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency modification to the 2024 contract for the Children's Interview Center. This modification will extend the current grant year to April 30th, 2025. The extension will allow for funds to be fully utilized. We have requested $47,000 through this grant. The requested funding amount is fully state funded with no county match. Requesting approval of the fiscal year 24-25 CYSJP contract with Family Services of Northwest Pennsylvania for kinship care, foster care, family preservation, intensive family, brief services, family behavioral therapy, multisystemic therapy, functional family therapy, and home study and updates for interstate compact cases. Requesting approval of the C1 amendment to the fiscal year 24-25 mental health contract with the Crawford County Mental Health Awareness Program for 2 new programs, the Link and Gateway programs. This amendment is adding $160,000 of CHIP funds to start 2 new programs. Requesting approval of the fiscal year 24-25 professional contract with Bliss Nutrition Services for special instruction and occupational therapy. These are the same services and rates that we contracted for in fiscal year 23-24. The rates are set by the state. Requesting approval of the fiscal year 24-25 professional contract with Kara Smith for special instruction. These are the same services and rates that we contracted for in fiscal year 23-24. The rates are set by the state.
Any questions for Sue?
Nope.
Thank you, Sue.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Finance,
Good morning.
good morning.
I have the following invoices for your approval. The first is to Northwest Commission. It's invoice number 823. It's our August 2024 broadband study work in the amount of $1,565.16. The next is Crawford County CYS. It's Q3 of fiscal year 23-24 match in the amount of $537,818.19. The third is to Crawford County CYS. It's Q4 fiscal year 23-24 match in the amount of $465,001.91. And the fourth is to Crawford County Visitors Bureau. It's their 2024 budgeted allocation in the amount of $2,000.
All right.
Next, for your ratification, I have the following invoices and a contract. The first is a contract to Farley Solutions. It's a contract for the Care Center cost report completion. This will be our last cost report that we have to do for the Care Center. Next is a bill from an invoice from P-CHIP. The number is 192201-0. It's our November 2024 health insurance in the amount of $630,262.76. And the next 2 are for this is my fault, I spelled it wrong. It's called Carface Auto Sales. And it's the 2020 Ford Explorer for the Sheriff's Department. The purchase price was $22,655 and a delivery fee of $499.
Okay, any questions for Stephanie?
Hard face, that's the name.
All
Is
right.
that a gag or something?
Sheriff Powers?
Morning, Commissioners.
Hi.
Morning.
I'm here to ask approval to pay Telesoft for a maintenance agreement. The amount is $7,576. If we pay it by December 1st, it knocks $379 off of that bill.
Okay, thank you.
I see.
I think it's for next year.
Okay, thank you.
All right, appreciate that.
Human Resources?
Morning, Brittany.
Hi, Brittany.
I'm requesting approval for the 2025 solvency fee for PA unemployment in the amount of $41,354.42.
Okay, any question for Brittany? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
GIS?
Requesting to approve invoice from Civic Vanguard for September services in the amount of $987.
Okay. Under voters?
Ratify the payment to William Penn Printing for election supply boxes in the amount of $4,029.72.
Okay, under commissioners?
A lot of notifications. All right. Acts 14, 67, 68, 127 notification from PennDOT for precast RC box culvert over Mohawk Run in Rockdale Township. Act 14 notification from Rosewood Tower Consulting on behalf of Conneaut Lake Joint Municipal Authority to revise the effective date of the carbonaceous
Good job.
biochemical oxygen
Better than
in
my work.
Salisbury Township. Act 14 notification from Blooming Valley United Methodist Church renewal of sewage NPDES permit in Blooming Valley Borough. Notification from PennDOT requesting comment on Fry Road Bridge project for the replacement of the bridge that carries Fry Road Route 1015 over a French Creek tributary in Cusawago Township. Notification from Dyson Halmy Engineering on behalf of Pro Waste Service, Inc. for a permit to own and operate the construction/demolition waste transfer facility to receive and temporarily store waste before disposal at another facility in Westmead Township. Notification from PennDOT requesting comment on the Rockdale Road Bridge project replacing the structure that carries Rockdale Road over Federal Run, replacing the two deteriorated pipes with a precast box culvert and minimal roadway approach work in Bloomfield and Rockdale Townships. PADEP notification from Wilson Engineering Services for renewal of an air quality control permit for an existing biomass drying and pelletizing facility in Union Township. Chapter 102 permit notification from PTV 1404 LLC for the construct of a commercial retail store with parking and other amenities with water receiving stormwater discharge to tributary 54614 to East Branch, Oil Creek, and Sparta Township. A PEDEP denial letter administratively incomplete application regarding the Teeny subdivision in Woodcock Township. And lastly, a notification from Linesville Pine Joint Municipal Authority for a renewal of an NPDES permit in Pine Township.
Okay. Any questions for Courtney that she wants to answer about permits? No?
Yeah, regarding number 6.
Okay, the upcoming events we have will be closed on Veterans Day, November 11th. The next full session will be November 13th. Any public comment? Commissioner comments, Commissioner Seeley.
No, we just want to thank everybody internally and externally for a very smooth election in Crawford County. We were able to accomplish our pre-canvassing and canvassing in record time, and through the work of many, many hands, we were able to depart this building much earlier than we would have anticipated under normal circumstances, considering what Tuesday was. So again, just a huge salute to our election staff, all of the internal employees that make that possible, and the hundreds of poll workers across Crawford County that conduct these elections. We're truly grateful for their services.
Would you want to just touch on the schedule for tomorrow?
Sure, we can do that. So tomorrow we will be meeting at 9 a.m. in this room to begin reviewing and ruling upon provisional ballots, as well as any sort of erroneous mail-in ballots that have been received at that time. We will continue that process until completed, depending on whatever may come our way. We really can't anticipate how long that will take, but the next step will be the receipt of any additional overseas or military ballots that are due on November 12th, next Monday. We anticipate, after being able to count and add those to our totals, formal tabulation will begin on Wednesday, and we're hoping for a smooth process there as well. So,
Thank you. Commissioner Shell.
As Commissioner Seeley just stated, the election appeared to run very smoothly, and we had an outstanding staff from from poll workers right here to the courthouse, just a wonderful group of people. So I thank them. And please heed the burning ban. It's just, it's amazing how many hours of work all these volunteer firefighters have put into our county, just extinguishing a lot of acts of carelessness. So please abide by the burn ban. Thank you.
One day I'm gonna let you speak before him so he doesn't steal all the thunder he always does, because that seems to happen.
Yeah.
I would just like to say that, and I'll echo what Chris said, but I happened to visit 30 precincts on Tuesday. Scott stayed here and amazingly went through 10,000 ballots and got them done while Chris and I covered those things. I traveled about 220 miles, and what I like the most about doing that is not only prior to Election Day, when we registered a 90-year-old lady to vote for the first time at our office, which the election voters office thought was great. There was an Amish lady in Rome Township voted the other day, first time ever, and that was great to see that there was participation. But more so, I got to be honest with you, it was as smooth as I've ever seen in my 4+ years here. That's credit to everyone, Jessalyn, Gina, and everyone else who handles elections for us. I can't tell you the number of people, I say this every year, the number of our poll workers who talk about Jessalyn and how easy she makes the instructions and how many adjustments she makes. She is quite an asset to Crawford County. She is probably the youngest, if not one of the youngest,
I'm sure she is.
voter services directors in the Commonwealth, and she certainly has. These people have a lot of respect for her, and they're amazed because most of our poll workers are of the older generation. They're tired, and I think they actually hang on because of Jessalyn, because she makes it easy, and I hope they stay on for many years to come. We're a little worried about that, but it was a really good effort and a really good day, and well worth the 200-mile trek around county to see some really happy people that got stuff done. So, all right, we will see you next Wednesday at 9:30. Thank you.